Hello, Taurus. Okay, so the song that I've got for you today, this is for August 18th, or when you hear it and it resonates, and it won't be for every Taurus. So the song that I would like to bring to you today is a Billy Joel song from his Turnstiles album. It's quite a long time ago now. In my opinion, one of his best. So it's called James, and it's a friend talking to his friend James. I went on the road, you pursued an education. James, do you like your life? Can you find release? Will you ever change? Will you ever write your masterpiece? Are you still in school, living up to expectations? James, you were so relied upon. Everybody knows how hard you tried. Hey, look at what a job you've done, carrying the weight of family pride. And then it goes on. You've been well behaved, you've been working hard, but will you always stay someone else's dream of who you are? So, Taurus, for those of you, now the image that I first got before I was led to that song was you. And it's like your head is down and there is a glass ceiling. So I know we typically think of glass ceilings in terms of the office place where you can't rise above a certain rank. But this is a glass ceiling in terms of what you let yourself manifest. Now, it's not always easy to encourage manifestation when you can't imagine or vision what it would be. So I'm looking at those words, I'm looking at that song, and I'm thinking, gosh, I really encourage you to listen to it. It's a beautiful song. But when I read those words, it's like I'm imagining somebody who has just all their life kept their head down to do whatever it was they thought they were supposed to do. Now, in this song, it's talking about family pride. It's talking about, basically giving up on your dreams in order to do what you think you're supposed to do. But it doesn't always have to be family influence, or certainly not even living family. It can be the culture that we grew up in. It can be the religion. It can be the time. For example, people who were born and raised in the time of the Depression very often feel as though they have to work hard, and they will always feel like they have to work hard unless they challenge the trauma of scarcity that they went through. And you see that often. I've seen that often with my friends who come from immigrant families. The drive to work is so powerful because it's so important to establish new roots. And now I love these cards because, Taurus, what you're getting here, so the image that I got was of you now all of a sudden looking up like this and going, like you're trying to lift the ceiling. And then the reality of it is the ceiling isn't even there. It's not even glass. It's this illusion that you've got that there's nothing higher, but only because you haven't challenged your imagination about what it could be. Now, the thing about this that seems important, that they're kind of whispering at me, and I have to get clear on this because I think it's it is very often no, that's not it. The sense of there being a restriction on what you can imagine is coming from something that is very likely an unconscious expectation that nothing better can happen, or an expectation that if you try too hard, you're going to get slapped down, or an expectation of if you try and fail, that'll be the end. So those are just 3 examples they're saying, but there are other things that will very often prevent you from looking up and seeing beyond this life that you're living and the life that you're continuing to manifest. Now, what I find so beautiful in conjunction with this is you get the faith card. The first card that comes up is faith. Then the second card says, well, why not? Who says so? And then you get take God with you, which goes right back to the faith card. So let me read the cards for you because I think this is really relevant. Faith is a process, a creative evolution. Faith is linked to the internal experience of spirituality rather than the external experience of religion. Faith develops as we move inward into the deepening self-awareness and the understanding of our own spirit. Why not who says? Set yourself free from internal rules that say no. This is exactly what I've been talking about. Set yourself free from the external faces that you imagine enforce these no's. Take note of what and who they are, but then say yes to yourself. Okay? Take God with you. If you already believe in some form of deity, God, Allah, unified field, divine presence, begin your day by saying hello. Every hour or more, say hello again and invite this presence to be with you today. Hi, it's me, just checking in. I just want you to know that I'm acknowledging your continued presence, or I don't really know if you're there or not, if you even exist, but if you do, welcome to my day. So this is something, what I'm getting with this as I'm reading these things to you is that you might have to do a little bit of digging, Taurus, to understand some of what is stopping you from imagining bigger. And again, this is not a criticism. This is part of your journey inward of getting to know you. This is part of your developing faith. This is part of your understanding how your mind works. This is part of you expanding your consciousness and your awareness of who you are at a deeper level and the power and the ability that you have to manifest. And part of that is understanding that learning how to understand what it is that's causing you to manifest what you do and not manifest more, not manifest differently, not have big dreams because, because there could be a million different reasons why, but there's usually not so many. It usually comes down to it's a theme you've lived in your family. It's an old imprint. You've got schooled in believing that this is the way life always is. You've had experiences like this, so you don't want to try again because you don't want to go through that feeling again. So let's just keep your head down and be content with what you got. It can be a lot of different things. But trust me when I'm saying, oh, now you've got the dreaming card, Taurus. Dreaming is an act of creation. Our most life-enhancing dreams are our higher minds or spirits speaking to us about potential and fulfillment for the kind of life that our personalities and egos have limited. So dream big, dream in technicolor, dream rich and full and affluent in all things. Taurus, this is really Spirit saying, wake up. It's time now. This is where you get to understand where many of your acts of service and your dedication to doing can be changed, can be altered in a way where now whatever you see as valuable service can also be something that expands your world into something that is wonderful. How can you take all of the things that you value, safety, structure, reliability, service, and shift that into another dimension where you also can have all these other wonderful things that currently seem contradictory? This is really challenging your imagination and challenging your sense of adventure. And you know, it might feel as though this could take a lot of work and a lot of digging and a lot of psychotherapy, but I don't believe it will. What I am hearing now is that take God with you. Take God with you. Let this be. Okay, so how am I hearing this? Please be clear. You can change this mindset that you have, and you can expand it in a way that is rich and full, that is affluent in all the ways you would like, that is guilt-free and productive, and is beneficial for everybody. And that this learning to change the mindset is part of what the challenge of many earth signs and in this case specifically Taurus, is about. It's part of the lesson. This is part of the learning, of experiencing, of understanding yourself and moving beyond that. And this is where you get to really start manifesting at a higher level. So it can feel sometimes kind of daunting to be thinking, but how do I do it? And what Spirit is saying is, just be willing to do it. Just be willing to do it. Have faith in this. Take it on as a spiritual exercise rather than a psychological exercise. Ask for guidance to hear what you need to hear and to understand what you need to understand, and then put yourself in a position to hear. You might want to hear through writing. You might want to hear through meditation. You might just want to have it you might want to have it come to you in synchronization. But what you can start with is a question, Taurus. It's always good to start with a question. What's holding me back from being able to imagine that I could be XYZ? That I could have XYZ? Or even start before that. What's preventing me from dreaming bigger? Is there anything that I need to see in order to be able to dream bigger in a way that feels good, that feels right, that makes my heart well, that makes me well in myself? Okay? I'm going to just pull, I think I'm going to pull one more card. No, I'm going to pull two more cards. Now, the card is the card that comes up. And okay, so I think we just got the answer to that. Resistance. What's causing resistance for you? Understand that when resistance comes, okay, and now intuition. Okay, beautiful. Resistance is an energy that actually can create momentum, or it can initiate momentum, because when we start feeling too tight, either because our life has become bored and we're stuck in it, we can't move, we don't have physical freedom or financial freedom, we can feel like we're being pushed on, like we can't get out. We can also have mental resistance to new ideas. But the basic thing is, when you feel resistance, it's because you're coming to the edge of who you know yourself to be, or what your life has become. And that's actually good, because what it means is you're ready for expansion. So when you look at this, pay attention to it, because it really needs to be respected. It's a signal, it's a sign, it's an indication. And now what you're told here is, play with your intuition, for goodness sake. Start opening up your intuition, Taurus. You are very intuitive signs. And so one of the things that you can do is again, ask the question and expect the answer. This intuition, this play with intuition, comes in with a Take God With You card in terms of actually bringing this out into the world. So what you're being told, Taurus, is play with your intuition in as many different ways as you can, and start expecting the answers. Notice synchronicities when they happen. Look for recurring numbers, seeming coincidences, ideas that suddenly pop up. So for example, it might be that, there's a part of you that always wondered about maybe doing a painting course in Alaska, but what are the odds of that? And then all of a sudden, what appears on your desk? A flyer about a painting course in Alaska? How'd that happen? Trust me, things like that have happened to me. So I'm going to leave you with this, Taurus. I feel like this is actually really, really exciting for you. And I feel like this is kind of what you may have been looking for in terms of, well, how do I change my life when I don't know what I want? It's not that you don't know what you want. Well, it is, but it's what's underlying that is preventing you from letting yourself take your imagination there. And that's where Spirit wants to take you. Okay? This is good. Take care.